like a memory my heart refuses to accept. I remember standing there and they slowly lowered your casket into the ground and feeling like the life we had just begun together was being buried right there with you. For an entire, almost, for me, it was almost 4 years. And we had just started now. I think it was the second honeymoon phase. You know, there's the first one and the second one. So this was like our second one. Now we're excited about bringing in our second born. And my husband was excited about that. And here we are. He's dead. Like, where do we start? I had a almost 3-year-old. She was 1 week short of being 3 years when the dad passed. And I was 5 months pregnant when my husband passed. From a short illness, the unexpected. For someone who was the fittest you'd ever meet, then all of a sudden you hear that he's dying of cancer, stage 4. I depended on him on almost everything. I couldn't make big decisions without asking him and finding out, what do you think, baby? If we did this and did that, do you think this would work? And now I had to be an adult, taking care of a 4-year-old, almost 3-year-old, sorry, she's 4 now, a 3-year-old then, and then being pregnant. I didn't know what to do. So everyone was just making decisions for me. And I was like, okay, they probably know what they're doing. Even planning the funeral, I was very lost.
This is the Unapologetic mic, where unspoken words finally find a voice. No scripts, no filters, no judgment. Speak your truth on your story.
Right. Dear babe, it has been 5 months since the day we said goodbye to you. And yet, I still wake up expecting to hear you moving around the house. I lie there listening for your footsteps on the floor or the sound of the tap in the kitchen, waiting for your voice to call out and ask if I would like some coffee or tea. For a few seconds, everything feels normal, like the world has not changed. Then the silence stretches too long, and I remember that you're gone. We had only been married for 3 months, the most beautiful 3 months of my life. I always called you happy, almost like I was reminding myself that I finally had a husband. We had started building our lives in this one bedroom that now feels like a big empty house. I remember the small things the most. The way you hummed so loud while brushing your teeth in the morning. How you always insisted on making tea even when I said I could not do it myself. And how you would look at me whenever I worried about the future and say so calmly, relax, ndio tumeanza. The day we buried you still sits heavy in my chest, like a memory my heart refuses to accept. I remember standing there and they slowly lowered your casket into the ground and feeling like the life we had just begun together was being buried right there with you. I kept thinking about the person who hit you and drove away, and I was so angry. Someone else's careless moment took my whole life away. People came one after the other telling me to be strong, holding my hands and speaking softly as if their words could hold me together. I nodded because that is what people expect from a widow. But inside my body felt weak and unsteady, like the ground beneath me would not stay still. When they placed the cross, my head was spinning and the world around me began to blur. And before I even understood what was happening, my body gave in. The next thing I remember was waking up in a hospital bed. The doctor came in and told me something I never expected to hear that day. I was pregnant. On the same day we buried you, I found out a part of you was still here. I cried harder in that hospital room than I had cried all day because you were going to be a father and you never got to know it. Now 5 months have passed and our baby is almost here. Some mornings I wake up feeling sick and exhausted, and sometimes I still reach for my phone to call you before remembering that the call will never go through. Nights are the hardest because that is when the house becomes quiet and the missing you feels bigger. Some nights I cry because I wish you were here to see all of this. And some nights I cry because I'm afraid of raising this child without you beside me. But then the baby moves, just a small flutter inside me. And in that moment, I feel something stronger than fear. I feel like a piece of you is still here with me. I feel a reassurance that all will be okay. I imagine the day our baby arrives and I finally see their face. Maybe they will have your eyes or your smile. And maybe in that moment, it will feel like you're right here with me. I promise you this. Your child will know who you are. I will tell them about your kindness, the way you laughed with your whole chest until everyone around you started laughing, about the simple ways you loved the people around you. I will even tell them about how you could never pass a mirror without adjusting your hair, even when it was already perfect. Or how you insisted that you make the best tea, even though sometimes it had some sugar than water. I will tell them that their father was a good man who left too soon, but who would have loved them unconditionally. Until that day comes, I will keep going. Some days are harder than others, but I keep choosing to move forward for this baby and for you. I will keep you alive in our hearts, and our child will always know how much their father meant to us. I miss you every day, my love, forever, my wife. Wow. For some reason, I could relate with this letter. The fact that she was 3 months pregnant and she lost her husband. Weirdly enough, in my grief journey, I had a almost 3-year-old. She was 1 week short of being 3 years when the dad passed. And I was 5 months pregnant when my husband passed. From a short illness, the unexpected. For someone who was the fittest you'd ever meet, then all of a sudden you hear that he's dying of cancer, stage 4. And I never got to know that, so yeah. Losing someone you had hope in creating a future with is quite scary, heartbreaking, and an experience that you wouldn't want someone else to experience. So I totally relate to this letter. And the fact that you didn't understand anything when people would come and console you. I think I was in autopilot as well. I didn't know what was happening around me. I was like, what do you mean it is well? What do you mean that you'll be strong in the future? I don't even know where to start because grief was very new to me. I'd never lost someone so close to me. And this was very personal. This is someone you've lived with for an for me, it was almost 4 years. And we had just started now I think it was the second honeymoon phase. You know, there's the first one and the second one. So this was like our second one. Now we're excited about bringing in our second born. And my husband was excited about that. And here we are. He's dead. Like, where do we start? So I would say grief that is very personal is heartbreaking. And you're allowed to go through those feelings. Being angry. I remember being so angry at the doctors. I remember being angry at myself. Could I have done more? Because I know if he was alive, he would have done so much. He would have listened. He was very thorough and proper. And I was like, I don't think I did as what he would have if he was alive. So I was very angry. And I remember I was just there. People would come and console me, and I wouldn't understand what they're saying. Fellow widows who lost their husbands like back then, they'd come and say, it is well, it's going to be well, you're going to raise your children and God will never forsake you. And I remember thinking, you people don't understand. What do you mean it is well? Did your husband die when you're pregnant? Was your husband the fittest? Did he die of cancer? So I couldn't relate to their story, and I did not agree to them saying that it was well. And waking up and realizing that the person you loved, the person you're meant to share a future with, is no longer there is the hardest thing to live with. And the fact that I was pregnant and I couldn't mourn my husband, because every time I would cry out loud, there'd be so much pain. I could feel pain in my belly, because with pregnancy, I don't know, the emotions kind of affect the baby. So it was quite painful. So I couldn't cry out loud. And people are there, you know, it's okay to cry. I'm like, I really want to cry, but I can't because it's painful for me. Literally, physically, it's painful. There's the heartbreak, then there's the pregnancy. So I didn't get an opportunity. I feel like I didn't get an opportunity to mourn my husband. And there were sleepless nights. I think after burying my husband, I didn't sleep for 2 months. It was quite painful that I didn't want it to be a reality, that I go to bed and I wake up and he's gone. So it was quite unbelievable for me that this person is gone. And I depended on him on almost everything. I couldn't make big decisions without asking him and finding out, what do you think, baby? If we did this and did that, do you think this would work? And now I had to be an adult, taking care of a 4-year-old, almost 3-year-old, sorry, she's 4 now, a 3-year-old then, and then being pregnant. I didn't know what to do. So everyone was just making decisions for me. And I was like, okay, they probably know what they're doing. Even planning the funeral, I was very lost. And I can relate to this letter. When you wake up in the morning and you go to the kitchen, my husband used to love to cook. So he used to cook for us some burgers and some steak. So you wake up and you go to the kitchen and you're hoping that this person is there. And this person could, just show up and make the dinner for you or the lunch for you. So it's been a difficult journey, but I would say that if he was here, even me telling this story, I can hear his voice and be like, there's no breaking down, because once you start breaking down, then no one would hear your story. So even when I was giving his tribute, I had to be strong. I had to remember his voice just telling me that you have to be strong and tell the story as it is so that people can hear you. Other than if you break down, then no one will remember that story. People will just remember you crying. So even when I'm telling this story, I'm not allowing myself to break down, because then no one will hear his story. But yeah, don't be like me. It's okay to break down. It's okay to go through the emotions. There are days you'll wake up, you're sad, and allow yourself to go through the emotions. I allow myself to go through the emotions. There are days I wake up, I'm happy. I go through the emotions, knowing that my husband would be proud of me. Of course, there are regrets that you feel like you're going on with life without them. And you feel guilty. Like, why am I happy and he's not here? But then I remember the type of person my husband was. And he'd be like, you know what, baby? You need to live a life that you'll be able to take care of the children. The children need to see you happy. Because then if you're not, it's going to affect them. So every day I have something to be grateful for that keeps me going. I'm grateful for my children. The fact that I was able to stay strong and see my unborn child, who's now 15 months. She's just an amazing soul. And she looks exactly like the dad. So she's such a blessing. I keep telling people, if I wasn't pregnant, I don't know, guys, I wouldn't have survived grief because my heart was broken. My person, my gym partner, had left me in this earth. I felt like he did it on purpose. I was like, how can you just leave me like that? The way this government is, why are you running away from government? I think it's dark humor. I like to go through my grief with dark humor, mainly because I feel like it makes people next to me comfortable. Because people don't know how to react to grief, especially those who've never experienced personal grief. They don't know what to tell you. They don't know what to say. So for me, I've been able to go through grief through dark humor because I know that's what my husband would have done as well. So that kept me going. And for this letter where she said we had only been married for 3 months and the most beautiful 3 months of my life, I always called you hubby. Almost like I was reminding myself that I finally had a husband. Me and my husband, we used to call each other baby. And we had just been married for 4 years. And they're the best 4 years of our lives. So we'd travel together. We'd go to the gym together. We I don't know if we should say we are or we were fitness freaks. But we used to do so many things together. So when I go to the gym and I try to work out, my workouts are different these days. I'm just there. I keep moving because he definitely wants me to continue with my fitness journey and be a badass. I mean, he was always proud of me with all the achievements that I've had in my fitness career. And he'd always brag about it to his friends and his family. So that's what I have to keep doing. I still have to show up because he'd want me to keep showing up. I don't know. Grief is very personal and it's something that you cannot explain to people because only you knows how it feels, because it's very different depending on the relationship you had with this person. And going back to this letter, and she says that the day we buried you still sits heavy in my chest, like a memory my heart refuses to accept. I still feel like I buried my husband yesterday. It's been almost 1.5 years, but it feels like it's yesterday. So even when people are asking me, how's your 2026? I'm like, oh, I'm still thinking that it's 2024 because, we just buried my husband in 2024. So to me, the year still feels like it's yesterday. And I am very happy that I have a community that understands that. And they still walk this journey with me. So to this person who read this letter, I'd want you to have a community that you can be open about your husband's death, that you can talk about your husband always. Because I've been given a space to continue talking about my husband, make the jokes, just keep his memory alive. I think it also helps you go through grief because you will need it. You will need a safe space to grieve. You'll need a safe space to be angry. You'll need a safe space to just express your emotions. Talking about grief, I don't know. I think I haven't gotten to that space where I can express what grief is. There's so much I can say that we can be here the whole day. But grief, I don't know. I think we need to start talking about grief from early childhood. So that's the space I'm creating with my children. Just talking about their dad, explaining to them who their dad was and the type of person he would have been if my second born would have met her dad. At least she's able to see the pictures and we tell her stories, so she even knows when she looks at the picture, she's like, oh, Dada. And I'm like, yes. And I just want to say thank you to the community that has walked this journey with me, because I haven't been alone. And I pray that you who is going through grief and has lost someone, that you find a community that gives you space. The other thing that grief does to you, you lose your identity. Currently, I am fighting to find myself again, because I feel like I lost myself when my husband died. I lost my previous life or my previous identity when he passed away. And every day I fight to find the new me. But I am promising myself to meet myself where I'm at and just start afresh. If today turns out to be the way it is, I go with the flow, hoping that I find this new me. Because going through grief and being a new mom or postpartum is one difficult journey that I wouldn't wish someone to go alone. I'd like it for you to find a community to walk the journey with you. The community can be your best friend, can be your mom, can be your dad, it can be your cousin, but you need someone to walk this journey with, because it's not going to be easy. You're going to be strong as you face the days ahead. Every day will be different for you. I remember being anxious. Like, will I be able to take care of my children alone? Will I have the capacity? And then one of the other things that really was making me nervous and anxious was, what if I die tomorrow? Because the world to me had ended. And here, people are celebrating New Year's, people are celebrating birthdays, and I'm like, God, when are you coming back? I thought since my husband has passed, like the world has ended, the world should be ending. Why are we still waking up to continue living? So I was waiting for God to say, this is the time, guys, the world has ended, but it never happened. So I was supposed to continue living. And that's something that up to date, I get excited when people say the world is ending. I'm like, yeah, it should end because my person is not here. So I don't know what I'm doing on this earth. But then I look at my kids and I'm like, you know what? We're going to make it through. But if you ask me now, if I see myself old, like maybe 80 or 90, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm having for breakfast tomorrow. So that's how I'm living my life. Because I'm like, life is too short. Because you never know who you're grieving tomorrow. So you make use of the time right now. So making use of spending time with your children or doing whatever needs to be done on that day and giving it your best. Because grief has taught me tomorrow is never promised. And one thing that has kept me going is also believing in God. This season has made me trust in God and grow spiritually as a person. So that also, I have someone to blame, let's say. Like now, if something goes wrong, I have God to turn to and be angry at, and we have this conversation, then for some reason it's like, my child, why are you acting out? He gives me solutions. So yeah, and I'm very stubborn, I don't give up. So as much as I'm going through grief, we're not giving up. We have to see like what we can do and what we can achieve in future. So we're not allowing grief to put us down. We're allowing grief to teach us how to love in the absence of the other person. So my take is, with grief, we're going to come out stronger, but we're still going to be sad. There are days we're going to wake up, we're going to be sad. There are days we're going to wake up and we're going to be happy, and we need to allow for that to happen. So yeah, be strong, find a community, you're going to come out of the other side a different person, and you're going to take care of your child, and the child is going to grow to be an amazing human. You look at the child and you'll never want to give up, ever. Yeah.
Say something.
Oh, my girls. All right. And to my beautiful, amazing babies. You guys keep me going. Your smiles, your stories, the funny things that you do. That is why every day I wake up grateful, and I want to keep going. I want to keep fighting. I want to see you guys grow old. I want you to be able to achieve everything that you ever wanted to achieve, because I've been used to bring you to this world. And I want God to make sure that I witness the purpose that you're going to live. And yeah, mommy is going to be strong for you guys. So you don't have to give up. And I'll walk this journey with you, and we'll walk it with God as well. Yes. If my husband was standing here, I'll tell him that the kids are doing amazing and they're growing up to be wonderful children. And the other thing is, listen, your girl didn't give up. Your girl is not giving up. Like, our family, we're stubborn and we want to stand out. So as usual, I'm keeping that. So yeah, so much has happened. So much has changed. But what I can say is you did a good job with us. You did a good job with everyone around you. And people showed up for you. And you lived a full life, honestly. You lived a full life. And there's so much. I can be here all day. But what I can say, baby, is a day at a time. We're living with intention, just like you wanted us to. We're giving it 100, just like you did. And people are keeping fit. Can you imagine? You inspired so many people. Now people are staying fit. So yeah, there's so much that I can say, but we're really grateful to have had you in our lives. The impact that you had on us is one thing that the world will never forget. And for sure, you definitely lived a full life, and we're emulating that. What I'd like to add on is that we need to talk about grief. We need to have platforms where we teach people about grief and how they can go about it. I had the privilege to have a church community that has grief, that is Nairobi Chapel. They have Grief Share, where at least you don't feel alone. And when you're going through grief and other people are also sharing their stories, you can feel like, you're not alone, and it gives you hope. So we need more of that. So let's create that platform for people to talk about grief, because some of us, we're experiencing grief for the first time, and it's not an easy journey. So yeah, I think that's it.